going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon!
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it! The Ducks have won!
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions!
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Catch made! Touchdown, Oregon!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Coach's Show tonight. Dan Lanning and Camden Lewis will be with us here in the Country Financial Studio. The Toyota Coach's Show comes your way this evening, 7 o'clock across the Oregon Sports Network and on the Oregon Football social media channels. And if you're live with us today in the 1 o'clock hour, we just talked with Coach Lanning coming off the practice field. That's going to lead things off here in just a moment. Also, Rob Moseley, his regular Wednesday chat with us, covering a lot of ground, actually, with Rob. And then Bo Nix met with the media, as did Jackson Powers Johnson, Nico Reed, and a few other Oregon football student-athletes coming up today and tomorrow as well. And yesterday afternoon, we got some updates from Oregon men's basketball head coach Dana Altman. The Oregon men's team coming up at home, 6 o'clock against Tennessee State on Friday. Chris Clayton's going to have you covered on that broadcast. I'll be with Oregon football getting set up for the broadcast in Tempe on Saturday at 1 o'clock. So Chris Clayton, who's been filling in for us on the women's broadcast, as Terry Johns continues to recover from a medical situation. I had a number of fans actually ask me, so Chris is going to do the men's game. He's been doing some women's games, so what's going on? Terry is recovering from a medical situation, so Chris Clayton has been kind enough to fill in for Terry on the women's broadcast. And the way that the schedule fell, we're also going to have Chris fill in for me on the Friday Oregon men's basketball game coming up. So a lot of fans I know have been wondering, Terry, we hope to have him back as soon as he can, and we're all thinking about him. Speaking of women's basketball, with that in mind, Chris Clayton's also got the call on Thursday. The Ducks will be on the road at Grand Canyon. I'm told that Oregon volleyball will also be in attendance. The Ducks are going to have a cheering section when Oregon women's basketball is at Grand Canyon. That's a 6 o'clock start, and then Chris will have the 5:30 pregame show for you coming up. So he's got back-to-back games, one on the road and one at home. That's the true baptism, isn't it, of being a radio professional this time of year. So, Chris, welcome to the team, buddy. That's on the horizon. So there's your programming notes for the week. Coming up tonight, I mentioned Camden Lewis. He's actually 5 points away from tying the program scoring record. Can you think about that for a second? We've been sort of tracking it through the year, and now it's coming up. A couple field goals, and it's his. Wow! We're going to talk with Camden Lewis about that coming up tonight. First, though, every time we talk with Coach Lanning, it's brought to you by the Went Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Just a little while ago, Dan Lanning coming off the practice field.
All right, good work day today. What you got?
What's the timetable for Andrew Boyle and whether or not he'll be able to return?
They're probably not going to see Andrew this year, but continue. You don't put timelines on that. You put benchmarks, and if guys hit their benchmarks, then you're able to get them back.
Why is loyalty something was that something that was ingrained in you when you were younger? But just the comments you made the other day, does that speak to your kind of history with that sort of thing?
Look, I mean, you are what you do consistently, right? And been fortunate enough to be around some phenomenal people, and loyalty means something to me. It'll always mean something to me.
How important has Bo's ball security been in the offense so far?
Huge, right? You talk about success. We talk about the two biggest indicators of wins and losses, and it's explosive plays and taking care of the ball or taking the ball, right? Those are big indicators. When we take care of the ball, we're a pretty dangerous team.
So you've harped on penalties for a while. A couple from the last game I wanted your perspective on. Did Tiefer do anything other than spin the football?
That was what the penalty was for.
Ever seen somebody penalized for spinning a football?
I haven't. We got to coach that.
And the Ty Sheen PI, just wanted your perspective on it. Looked like there was hand fighting both ways on that.
Yeah, I didn't see that one as a penalty. Still waiting for the assessment.
As recruiting is getting close to signing day, how do you assess just the overall aspect of this year's class so far and just kind of the last month of that push?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a great class coming in. I'm really excited about some of the guys that are going to come here and be a part of what we're doing. I think they see, the big picture, what exists here. I think they see the consistency. They want to be a part of a great team. Great players want to play with other great players, right? And that's what we have built so far.
Sounds like Jaden Rashad is back at practice for them. Just with only 2 games of tape and high school film and recruiting him, what do you know about him, and what might he offer them offensively?
Yeah, we anticipate seeing Jaden out there on the field. He's a talented player. Obviously he can throw a good ball.
What's impressed you both with, I guess, just how Kenny's continued? There's no chance of postseason, all these injuries, but they've playing some of their best football right now this part of the season. What do you see that speaks to what he's doing? Well,
just great effort on film. They consistently have great effort on film. I think they play disciplined football. They're not a team that really hurts themselves, and that they have wrinkles each week that make them tough to defend.
Are there things that Cal did that either I wouldn't say concern you exactly, but did schematically that because of the similarities with Kenny that you try to prepare for, like getting the ball on the perimeter in certain ways where they try to free up their receivers at times?
Not really.
The wrinkles that Kenny throws in, how difficult has that been during prep and compared to other weeks where maybe an offense is more mainline than they have been all year?
Yeah, I think we consistently try to give our guys a lot of looks. One of the things that makes what we do difficult is how much we ask our guys to do, and they've been able to handle that really well. We don't know exactly what they're going to do, but we do know their DNA plays. We do know what they make their hay in, and that's what you have to really work, and then try to throw some wrinkles at your practice that he hasn't put on film, and that way they can adjust accordingly.
How has the run defense improved so much year over year? And you were already good a year ago, but improved so much, and even if you take the sacks out of the equation, you guys are better. How has the run defense improved when so much of the personnel is back?
Better talent, better execution, right? We've got more depth, more guys that can play at a high level. You have good run defense, it doesn't really matter if you have horrible pass defense, right? If you have great pass defense, it doesn't really matter if you have bad run defense. So we have to be, balanced from that approach. But if you can take away a team's running ability, it lets you play, makes them play left-handed and lets you play a lot different.
We talk about strength in numbers there, especially like here you are holding teams under 100 yards rushing, less than 3.5 yards a carry, and yet individually nobody's having a career year because of how much you rotate guys. Nobody's getting maybe the attention they deserve in part because of that. How much did you have to get the buy-in from your front seven to have that strength in numbers like you talk about and the rotation that you have?
I disagree. You're talking about them right now, right? So people are talking about what these guys are doing. It's not really about production. It's never really about production. You go look at the first round of the draft. You're going to see 7 edge guys drafted, and tell me how many of those guys actually have double-digit sacks. I think there was 1 last year in Will Anderson. It's not about production. It's about execution. It's about the film you put on tape. Our guys realize that.
Last week, a couple of your defensive players were talking about just Jeffrey's ability to get everyone ready, the film study he does. Can you just speak to just the work he puts in and how he learned to do that, you feel like?
Yeah, he's an amazing communicator. He's certainly our quarterback on defense. We have a lot of good communicators on that side of the ball, but Jeff's taken a big step forward of ownership. When the D-line's not lined up correctly, he puts that on himself. When we don't execute a coverage properly, or don't identify what the other team's doing, he puts that on himself. So it starts with him owning it, and then the work. This guy puts in a lot of work, a lot of extra film study. He's obsessed with it. If you want to be great, you have to be obsessed.
Is that the growth from last year to this year? Is that where it's been, or was he like that last year?
I think there's a lot of pieces. Jeff's always been wired that way, to do a little bit more and a little bit extra. I think, a lot of his growth is what he did in the offseason and how he's grown, his body has changed, how he comes out and gets extra before and after practice. I think that's one of the things that separates him.
Those are the difficulties of defending Scatterboot besides the obvious, and have you seen a player use in like that many roles in one game like he did last week?
No, I mean, every time this guy touches the field, it's like pump, pass, and kick competition, right? I mean, he can do it all, so you don't know what you're going to get from him. He's tough, he's hard-nosed, he doesn't go down on first contact. He threw the ball on 3rd and 10 last week, right? So it's just really unique how they use him. You almost have to treat him as a quarterback that can run at times when he's back there.
Does it mean that
last question
that Popo has been able to offer you guys what he does, not just in general, but especially the last several weeks where he's clearly at less than 100%, and yet he's still as effective as he is for you guys on the inside?
Yeah, he cares, right? Popo cares. He wants to go out there and play for his team. He wants to put his best foot forward for Oregon football, and there's nobody right now in Week 11 that's not banged up, not dinged. Popo's a great example of that, of a guy that continues to push and make our team better when he's out there on the field.
Oregon head coach Dan Lanning, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. A lot of great information from Coach Lanning. And I got to say, I'm intrigued to see what Kenny Dillingham draws up. We've seen the creativity firsthand from the Oregon offensive coordinator, former Oregon offensive coordinator. I was actually just listening to Coach Dillingham's press conference today. We'll have some of that on our pregame show starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time from Tempe. And he said that he thinks Oregon's offense is better now than when he was the coordinator last year. That's high praise from a guy who has a great relationship with Bo Nix. Certainly there's a lot to unpack there. But Coach Dillingham has drawn up some creative things, and I'm personally just a little bit excited to see how the Ducks defend that here coming up on Saturday. When we return, Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, is going to join us, and we've got some updates from men's basketball. We're going to hear from Bo Nix. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Back at Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. It's officially crossover season as Rob Moseley joins us. Rob Moseley's favorite Thanksgiving food is salad, according to Alex. That surprises me.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
If accurate.
That's
What is it? Now you have to defend yourself.
I could eat just a box of stovetop stuffing and be happy.
Stovetop.
I don't want the good
stovetop.
stuff. Don't give me that nasty stuff with like raisins and stuff in it.
Oh, all right. So you don't like it in the bird, and
that's fine in the bird if it's stovetop.
Okay, so it has to be stovetop. Yeah.
100%.
Well, the point
or like the generic version of stovetop.
The point that I'm making is that cheers, buddy. You needed one today.
I did. Yeah,
we got you covered.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I noticed that he didn't take a drink himself when we cheers, but that's okay. We're hyping Rob up today. He needs to get through it. You're usually our, as you know, reason to get through the week.
Right.
Because that's why we schedule you for Wednesday.
Appreciate you.
This is on purpose. Big football game coming up.
There is.
Every game's big now in the month of November. It's where you want to be.
No, the way the program's been talking, it's that basically you're in the playoff already. I mean, you want to be in the playoff, but you got to qualify for it. So you have to have that mentality that you're in like the wild card rounds or something. Already to get there. So, and obviously particularly, a game like this one where, probably a lot of predictions are going to be that the Ducks win, and you just can't let that go to your head. You can't get caught up in that. You got to stick with the routine that has carried you this far and not let that slip, and that's a challenge. That's easier said than done. Complacency is we're all guilty of it at times, but you got to fight that, if you want to be a champion. So, I think that message has been sent by the leaders, staff and players this week. But you gotta go put that into action come Saturday as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. One of the things I was talking about before you came in is what we discussed in the Quack Minute, that it's just intriguing. There's so much to unpack with a former offensive coordinator who's now the head coach. And I think, to be honest, I was talking with Tim Healy, my counterpart at Arizona State, about this, and I think sometimes it gets overblown. Like, well, I've got inside knowledge on you, and you've got inside knowledge on me, but every year's a little bit different and things change. I don't know. I think that gets overblown, but what I do know is that Kenny Dillingham's creative, and he comes up with some fun things offensively.
Yeah, I think you saw that just last week against UCLA. So, no doubt there's going to be mutual respect. I think as Coach Lanning referred to this week, that every coach, every staff has its basic principles that that's going to be the foundation of what they do, and then they're also going to try to throw some new things at you. That's no different, I think, than any week. So you got to be ready for what they've already done, and also ready for potential curveballs. And then ultimately, I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but you just got to fall back on doing what you do well, and trust that that's going to get you through most situations.
Yeah. Weird stuff has happened in the state of Arizona for Oregon football. But Rob, I'm going to say, I think that it's a good thing that kickoff's at 1 o'clock because it bucks the weird night game trend.
I would say that's fair. But yeah, you think about that game Mariota played at Arizona Stadium. Obviously, different opponent. That was during the day. And that went sideways real fast. Yeah. No, it's a tough place to play, and it's a long trip. Relatively speaking, for the current configuration of the league Oregon plays in. That's going to change.
Right.
That will not be that long a trip compared to some others. But yeah, certainly there's some scars there from trips to the desert.
Yeah. I brought it up to try to buck that trend, and then all those knives, I feel like you put them right back in. That's how I'm feeling now.
No, I mean, hopefully going forward you buck the trend.
Right.
But it is a heck of a trend to be acknowledged and hopefully bucked.
Yeah, I hope. I hope so as well. I noticed that Alex is here, and he has not yet said anything to you today.
That's the way we like it.
Wow. I can just feel, sometimes sitting between the two of them, it's like, favorite Thanksgiving food is salad. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Salad? Salad. Yeah, he said salad.
He did.
Did you
say
hear
that?
I
heard that.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. Yep.
I heard salad. Yeah, that's what I heard. Anyway, Rob Moseley
They give him
joins
Jell-O
us.
at the kids' table.
Ooh. Ooh. Anyway. I was thinking about this too. Like, Arizona State is a team that certainly, under Coach Dillingham, you got to think is going to get better. But
no doubt.
That being said, they've got nothing to lose in this game. They're coming off a victory where I think they felt like they had nothing to lose and got it done. So if you're the Ducks, I think you can't overlook them. You got to be prepared for that.
No, I think to what we were talking about on top, you have to have that mentality that if you want to be a championship team, if you want to be a playoff team, you have to be playing with that mentality already. And for that exact reason, this week, you're going to get absolutely their best shot. This would be a signature win for them under a new head coach. The kind of thing that you got signing day coming up for recruits. That would probably resonate. They'd probably consider that perfect timing to get a big signature win and maybe convince some kids who are on the fence to maybe go play for them and. So, yeah, there's all sorts of reasons they're going to be highly, highly motivated, and so the Ducks better be as well.
All that in mind, you've got a long trip coming up yourself. You're going to go cover some volleyball. You've got women's basketball down there.
I'm not going to that. Yeah, I'm not going down till Friday, but I will be at the volleyball match Friday.
But you're going to cover from afar. I know you.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah, I can't not watch it.
Yeah. You'll be tuned in.
Yeah, I'd be in the doghouse.
Yeah, 6 o'clock for Oregon women's basketball from Grand Canyon on Thursday. They will have the volleyball team there cheering them on.
Yes.
Then you're going to join and cover the volleyball team on Friday.
Yes.
Then you're also going to cover football on Saturday, and you're covering volleyball on Sunday?
No, I'm coming home Saturday night. Late.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
That is the plan, yeah.
That's a lot of coverage on GoDucks.com, folks.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And if anybody's down there in the desert, and is going to go to basketball Thursday and volleyball Friday and football on Saturday, hit me up at volleyball. We'll incentivize it for you.
Yeah. Would you like to go into more depth on your challenge to the masses on Twitter?
Sure, yeah. So if you're at the volleyball match Friday and you just hit me up, send me a DM, or just approach me, I'll be buzzing around. And you can show me a selfie of yourself from the basketball game the night before, Thursday. And you can show me a digital ticket on your phone for the football game Saturday. Basically prove you're going to do all 3 of those in the Phoenix area, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll give you $25 for shop.goducks.com.
Excellent.
First to five people that can do that.
There's got to be 5 people that are going to do this in Phoenix, right?
Maybe we just one.
I mean,
maybe it'll just be 10.
Tempe, you can get it done.
Yeah.
Ducks in the desert.
I'm gonna bring some other swag just in case there's like more than 5 on the off chance.
Sweet.
Be a little surprised, but got to be prepared too.
So $25 to the GoDucks.com shop.
Yep.
How about that?
You get to cheer on your Ducks, which you probably would have done anyway.
Yeah.
And then we'll just throw $25 at you to buy some.
This
buy
is a
some
good
new
idea.
swag.
This is a good idea.
Hey, thanks, man.
Well done.
Yeah.
You know, it's like building a fan base or something, Rob.
Yeah.
Good job.
Encouraging.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on the fence about maybe going to hoops Thursday or volleyball Friday,
let's go.
Get out there. Let's go.
Let's go. Meanwhile, talking about volleyball, a couple critical matches here ahead. 3 on the road, 1 at home. Senior night approaching 6 days away at Matthew Knight Arena, actually. Down the stretch, volleyball comes. This is going to be a big one on Thursday, or on Friday, I should say.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they still want to stay in the mix for a top 4 national seed and hopefully host a couple weekends of tournament play if you know, the results can break their way. You know, they probably need a little bit of help, as Coach Ulmer said today. But they're certainly in the conversation. But you feel like you probably have to win out. You know, you felt like you probably had to win out in the second round of conference play to kind of do it on your own, and you know, haven't been fortunate enough to do that. So you probably need some help. But results, you know, there have been some results at the top of the national rankings that have
helped,
encouraged the idea that you're still in the mix. So. But, you know, so a win Friday would be huge, you know, against a team that swept Oregon back here earlier in the year. And then you just got to try to keep it rolling. Because, you probably do. I mean, not probably. I mean, you have to go 4-0 these next 2 weeks to stay in that conversation.
Yeah. And
that's certainly possible. This team can beat anybody on any given night.
Yeah.
But based on how things went against Arizona State here last time, you better bring it a little better than you did that time.
Couple final thoughts with Rob Moseley, Editor-in-Chief, GoDucks.com. Men's basketball, home game on Friday. Neither you nor I will be there.
Will it even happen? Who's to say?
Well,
who's to say?
I know Chris Clayton will be there.
Okay.
I'm sure Will Patterson's writing the game recap, right?
Yeah.
So
much to his chagrin.
Yeah, there will be coverage.
Yes.
But yeah, Tennessee State in town. Can't overlook them because, again, don't have anything to lose.
Right.
If you're Tennessee State.
Right.
The Ducks, we're going to hear from Coach Altman coming up in a moment. And then men's basketball, I feel like in general, Rob, they've shown some flashes of how good they can be.
Yeah.
And even when the depth has been tested early in the season.
No, I think you just have to be really encouraged about, being 2-0, given, all the kind of, Dante being able to play and then not being able to play. And, some couple of freshmen that still haven't been able to go at all. So your rotation's not even close to what you hope it could look like, and yet still getting some wins. I mean, I think we're all used to this team kind of being on a little bit of a roller coaster early and then getting it together kind of sometime after the first of the year. And so any signs that a group is going to gel kind of earlier than that are most welcome, very encouraging. And, speak to guys like Dante, but also some of the other, veterans who are back from last year's team, the continuity they've been able to provide, the job they've done, helping all those new faces kind of get on board. And, again, gelling has not been easy for those guys, and it probably hasn't happened even close to the extent that you'd like it to, again, because of kind of people being in and out of the rotation. Sure. But, the bottom line is you got a couple of wins, and, hopefully can keep that success going.
On the women's side, you talk about depth being tested. First time you and I have talked since the unfortunate news for the women's team. Depth going to be tested. We'll see what the rotation looks like on Thursday.
Yeah, that was just a bummer for Peyton Scott to be injured so early in the season. But, I think, just like Dante, when he, at times he hasn't been able to go. I mean, it's somebody who on the bench is so enthusiastic and engaged and, encouraging that still can find a way to lift up the team and have an impact. But bottom line, of course, is you need the people on the floor to be able to compensate. And so, I think we came into the year saying, okay, given some of the departures from last year's team, Chance Gray, Grace Van Sluten, this is your time. And based on the first couple games of the season, they were like, okay, challenge accepted.
Right.
We'll lead this team with our voices, but also just in terms of production. And so that's been really good to see.
Good stuff. Rob Moseley, Editor-in-Chief, GoDucks.com. Anything else fans should know?
No. I think we covered it all.
Hey, thanks for getting us through Hump Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can find him on Twitter at GoDucksMosley.
Happy to do it.
And at Duck Football. He'll be under both personas on the trip to the desert.
That's true.
Yeah, so enjoy the trip.
Hey, appreciate it.
When we come back, going to hear a little bit from Oregon football, also some from Dana Altman as we talk a little men's basketball on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We were just discussing how you can really start things by just saying Thanksgiving food that someone likes. It's going to be the common question next week. We all know this, right? To every person ever, what's your most favorite Thanksgiving food? I'm just waiting for someone to be like, you know what? Turkey, stuffing, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, and then we're going to find out some like real crazy meal that a family has for Thanksgiving. Mac and cheese is a common enough thing. That's what Scott just suggested. That's fine. So mac and cheese. Like what if you're a family that has steak on Thanksgiving? Can that be a thing? I remember our friend of the program, Aaron Fentress, used to have steak on Thanksgiving. You know, it used to say in the Mashofsky Center that tradition has turkey on Thanksgiving. Remember that? Because we're untraditional. We're traditionally untraditional in Oregon. That's our thing. Anyway. Are you mad about this? Do you have salad on Thanksgiving, Stimson? Turn his mic on.
I mean, yeah, of course, you got to balance out. You got a lot of intake going on. So the salad's a good base to lay, but no, it's not my favorite food. Come on, get out of here.
I don't even make a salad for Thanksgiving.
Well, that's it's a bad step by you, but, to each their own.
I don't. Knight, do you eat salad on Thanksgiving? Scott? No one does. You need a little roughage in your diet? Is that the deal?
Yeah, you gotta get the metabolism going. I'm I don't think it's that outlandish of a thing. Yeah, I don't think it's
you'd eat
outlandish.
Jell-O.
I think you guys are in the minority.
I think you'd eat Jell-O salad
That's
before
gross.
you would eat salad.
Salad with gravy, no. Gross.
Anyway, let's hear a little bit from Bo Nix because we just need to do that right now. Oregon quarterback talking with the media after practice yesterday.
Healthy secondary. Mm-hmm. What's the importance of that to you as the season goes on, as these games get bigger, that the defense have everybody available for you in practice?
Oh, that's important for the whole team. I think when everybody stays healthy, I think we're all better and we're all playing better.
Obviously, every game is a big game, but does this one hold a little bit more weight just going up against Kenny and what he's got going?
Not really. Ultimately, he's done a great job just in my development. We're working with him for 2 years, but at the same time, it's just another game, and now he is the opponent, and he's thinking the same thing about us. So I think it is cool to play against him. It's cool to play against another coach that you've worked with for so long, and then but I just think it's another opportunity for us to go out there and put together a complete game.
Have you kept in contact with him since he left here last year?
Yeah, we've always been in contact since my freshman year.
What are those conversations like anymore?
It's just kind of depends on the situation, to be honest with you. In season, out of season, he has a great personality, so they're always enjoyable conversations.
What do you admire most about his approach to coaching the quarterback position?
I think his willingness to meet you where you are and coach you from there. I think his story, where how he had to kind of work for everything he's gotten, I think has really helped put him in a position to see the perspective of every quarterback and see where they are. I think that's one thing he really does well.
How important was his faith and trust in you, but also to give you that level of control that you had a year ago that you've maintained this year?
That was huge. I think it just allowed me to play free and just, like you said, that's how we've kind of operated this year, and I think it's helped us a lot this year. And I think just getting into the right plays, and our system right now is as good as I've ever been a part of, and Coach Stein does a really good job of just putting us in situations with great answers.
You said that your guys' offense is better than it was even last year. Where do you feel like this group has improved from year one to year two under Dan?
Well, I think just when you look at our guys, we got a lot of returning guys that I think have contributed a lot this year, and Troy, myself, Ferg, Bucky, and then we've added pieces, Gary, Tez, Trey, and then Jordan James has continued his role from last year. And then the offensive line has gelled really, really well, and they really picked up from where we were last year, and they played really well. They just get better and better, and there's so much talent in that room, and exciting to see those guys contribute how they are. And I think they're probably the reason why we're doing everything is just because they can handle so many things, and they're just really good.
You talk about wanting to play a complete game. You probably won a couple weeks ago where you felt like you could have started better, and last week maybe finished a little better. Just how close do you think you guys are to that, and how much of a challenge is it to really put together a full, complete 60 minutes?
Well, we're really close. I think if you look at just the other night, I think we were so close, but besides the penalties, I think we would have played complete without those. And I think when you look at the first half the other day, we moved the ball really efficiently, scored points in the red zone, and we didn't, especially in the first quarter, we didn't stick to field goals. We put the ball in the end zone, and that's what helps. And we just got to do that for 4 quarters. I think a lot of the times it depends on situation and where you are in the game and the opponent, but that's what we're striving for, that's what we're practicing for, and that's what I hope we'll get to.
How advantageous is it for you guys and your defense in particular to be familiar with Kenny and know what he likes to do? I know it's maybe a little bit different this year, but from having that experience.
It's good. I think it's not a disadvantage, that's for sure. And, it'll be interesting to see what he does to change things up. But our defense is really good at, game planning and scheming and adjusting on the fly during games. And ultimately, they're just playing really well. They're tackling really good in open field. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. They're stopping the run, and that's all you can do, really, from a defensive standpoint.
You've credited that relationship with Kenny as a big role in coming out here for the last nearly 2 years. You might never go to, if not for that, where you would have gone? What was the next alternative?
Well, yeah, I think, it was always Oregon. Everything always pointed to Oregon, and, I don't think I could have made a better decision.
With JPJ, where have you seen his progress, and I guess specifically in terms of kind of knowledge of what's around him and everything for you?
Well, he's, obviously grown each game. I think he's seen so many different things, and he continues to learn with the looks. But he's just a really natural football player, just instinctful, and just, I think he just operates at a high level. He plays with a great motor, great energy. He gets those guys around him fired up, and he just plays hard. And when you got a guy like that kind of feeds through the rest of the guys, and they help him out a lot too. And I think those five are just working in unison really well.
Throughout the week, how much are you two guys conversing about kind of checks and all that stuff? How frequent is that?
Yeah, all the time during practice, meeting times, and he does his own study, I do mine, and then when we get on the field, we kind of collab and go from there. And he's confident in his calls, and at the end of the day, I got the override, but he does a good job of getting those guys situated, getting those guys where they're supposed to be. And then if I do check something, it's because they're probably not seeing the picture, because they're seeing the front seven, and then we just, whatever we say, it goes, and the guys trust me and him. And then obviously with the guys next to him, they played a lot of football too, so their words mean a lot too.
We always focus a lot about like when a quarterback plays or something like you did against Utah last year, really down the stretch after the Utah game last year. What does it mean to you when your centers or offensive linemen in general play through like what Alex did last year, what Jackson did on Saturday? I don't even think you came.
Well, their job's much harder, and they have a physically exhausting job, and to do it banged up, it's not fun. And those guys really gut it out and push through, and it just shows their overall toughness. And I think it speaks to them not only as a person, but what they're willing to do for the team. And then ultimately, I think when you got a lot of guys doing that, you just have a tough team, and that's really good too.
Same question.
Differ's closing in on most receptions of the season by a tight end here. What's just made him so good and so reliable for you?
Well, his ability to get open, his ability to get separation, contested catches. He's really good at when the ball's in the air, he's going to get it, and he's really good after the catch too. So, as a quarterback, and it's one of my jobs to get the ball to those guys that make plays, and he's one of them. And thankfully, we have so many of those guys. It makes my job easy.
Great stuff from Bo Nix, Oregon quarterback, talking a little bit about his relationship there with Coach Dillingham. And Coach Dillingham, very complimentary of Bo Nix. I think it's safe to say that Kenny Dillingham thinks that Bo should win the Heisman Award this year. Pretty impressive. We're going to get a timeout when we come back. Switching gears from Ducks and Sun Devils, a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Some updates from men's basketball head coach Dana Altman. He met with the media after practice, I should say, last night. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joy Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Yesterday afternoon, Dana Altman following Oregon men's basketball practice talk with media. A lot of updates. Unfortunately, still some injury questions for the Ducks, and Coach Altman answered that and a whole lot more here.
What the film show you in review of Montana?
You know, we did some really good things. We did. I thought our ball movement at times was really good. Obviously, didn't turn the ball over. Guys made pretty good decisions. And this time of year, just being a little more conservative, making sure we got shots up. So I was very pleased with that. Our blockout numbers were okay, and that gave us a plus 12, 13 on the boards. So a lot of positives. The execution's got to get better. We wasted some possessions. Free throw shooting has got to get better. But all in all, for the second time out, I thought we did a lot of good things.
Just the communication, the connection you guys have defensively early in the season so far.
At times, it's really good. It's not as consistent as we want it, but at times it's very good. Guys are talking, and that's a real credit to, like, Jermaine does a good job of really talking, and I thought he did a really good job the other night, of taking over offensively and defensively. So really pleased with what he did. Nate, took it upon himself to talk a little bit, which is out of character for him. Brennan's starting to talk a little bit, but you really want those vets to talk and kind of help the young guys, out a little bit. They're not as comfortable talking. But I thought Jermaine and Nate in particular did a pretty good job.
What are your thoughts on how Comey's played through the first two games?
He's got to get more physical. And that's usually the transition from high school to college. He goes from playing guys his own age to guys that are 5 years older than him. And you saw a couple times in the Georgia game, he got bumped and knocked out. And even in the Montana game, he got pushed around a little bit. He's got to lower his base. He plays a little too straight up and down. He hunted the three a little bit, I thought, against Montana, where he should have been going inside a little bit more. But he's got a good stroke. He works at it. So just got to keep him moving in the right direction. It's very typical for a freshman. There's a lot of this, and especially early in the season. But he's our only freshman playing right now with Jackson and Mookie out. So it's going to give him time to get quite a bit of minutes. I think he played 20 minutes against Georgia and 20-some the other night. So he's getting some minutes.
You see the rebounding numbers he's getting, though? I mean, is that a sign of at least the efforts there?
He got 10, and he picked up a few loose balls. I thought he could have got a few more offensive rebounds. I didn't think he particularly went, quite consistently enough, but sure like seeing 10.
Touching on some of the veterans, how important is the JUCO impact and how much they've played into helping build this roster?
Well, I thought, Bam really gave us a big lift the other night defensively. I mentioned that after the game, that he really had a positive effect on our defense and our energy level. Brennan, I think is showing what we saw when we recruited him. He went through a tough year last year with injuries, and hopefully we can keep him healthy this year. But you see his athleticism, his ability to shoot the ball. He did a nice job defensively on Moody. So, that experience helps. And I thought Bam, in particular, gave us a big lift on the defensive end.
Initial thoughts on Tennessee State?
Well, they play Portland tomorrow night, which I think will give us a little better indication of where they're at. But they do have two preseason all-conference guards that double-figure scores back from last year. So that's always a scary thing when you got a couple guards who are very experienced. You saw what Moody did to us the other night. And those experienced guards that, have a knack for scoring, know how to score, are always a big concern.
What are your plans to retain the large attendance in the arena this season?
Well, I hope people enjoyed the game. I thought we gave good effort. I thought there were a lot of positives, for our fans to watch. So obviously winning's a big part of it. We got to continue to play hard. We've got to win games. But I think, the people over in the ticket office and that have done some things to promote, and finally got the billboard working, which is nice. I mean, how many years has that been out? I forgot we had it. So we got the billboard working. So hopefully, people enjoy, what they can. And I thought we had a good family atmosphere. So I thought it was a good first game.
You talked once about kind of your social media presence and how that's not how you roll, really. You're mostly a coach. But how do you think having a presence on social media could connect you to the fan base and help grow your attendance, like Matt Ulmer, Dan Lanning, or people?
Well, I don't know. I that's what people, we have one with Oregon basketball. I don't think people come to watch me. I don't think they go to watch Dan. They definitely don't go to watch Matt. I'll kid him about that, but
it's a way to connect is what I'm like to connect more.
Yeah, maybe it is. But our basketball program is what the people I think connect with, and that's why we put things out. I think there was something out with Dante today, being on the wooden list. So I think that gets people connected. But people don't come to watch me. People come to watch the guys, and people come to watch basketball.
Dante and Jesse on track for Friday?
Jesse worked out today. Dante had an appointment, so I see what the trainers say and see what they were checking on some things, see how his knee was progressing. But Jesse practiced today, so anticipate him ready to go.
Because of the quick turnaround thereafter, Dana, will Jackson travel with you guys down to Florida,
Sure.
even if he's not going to play?
Oh, yeah. No. There's something to be learned, watching your team play. So, yeah. No, you'll have Thanksgiving dinner with us. I guess we're eating on Wednesday down there, but he'll go with the team. Mookie will go with the team. Those guys, just like they did to Vegas.
With Dante, it's just soreness in his knee. There is nothing structural going on?
I'm not sure exactly. He does have some soreness and a little swelling. So, again, he was just in today, and I don't know. He just came in late in practice there, so I don't know what he has to say.
Does it give you a more positive outlook on the season when he's able to go up and grab over 20 boards, like on one knee?
Well, he was on two knees, but yeah, I mean, it was great to go see him. He was all conference last year. He got almost 14 points, 9 rebounds a game for us last year. He got double teamed every time he touched it. He shot 62%. I mean, he's a good basketball player. He's tough. He's hard-nosed. Guys love him. He's all about the team. So, yeah, he's a really good player. That's why, he's one of the top 50 nominated for the Wooden Award. He deserves that. I think he's on the West Coast is one of the best centers in our league, obviously, and really important, good player.
Excuse me if it's already been asked, but what did it mean to this team, or just the players not necessarily preparing for Dante to miss extended time, but what did it do for their confidence to go out there and get a W without him on the floor?
Well, he's been in and out, all summer, so guys have had plenty of time to work without him. So, but no, it's different. We played a little different style when he's not around. We run so many things through him when he's in. Now, fortunately, Nate, we did some of those same things, and Nate finished some good plays, especially in the second half. So it was good to see Nate pick it up. You mentioned KJ's 10 rebounds. He's going to need to do that for us.
You're hoping to see Dante add to his game in the offseason that you think he pretty well did, offense-wise particularly?
Well, he worked really hard on hitting 15-footers, and getting knocked off the lane. He missed 2 shots against Georgia in the first half, little 12-footers that he's kind of been working on. I think that's important as his game develops, to be able to shoot, 15, 16-footer. I think that's something that he needs to continue to work on offensively.
Is that something you guys feel more confident in him
Sure.
doing than you did maybe a year ago?
Hey, he's in the gym, shooting all the time. So absolutely. I didn't complain about either one of the shots. We started the game trying to get it inside. They kind of pushed him off the block and took a little 12-footer, but he's been working on that shot. He hits it in practice, so it didn't bother me at all.
Dana Altman, Oregon men's basketball head coach, talking with the media after practice yesterday, and it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. We're going to get a timeout, come back, hear a bit from Keishawn Bartholomy as well as the Ducks get ready for Tennessee State on Friday, and more football conversation this week. It's on the horizon on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon men's basketball tipping off at 6 o'clock on Friday against Tennessee State. Chris Clayton will have you covered for that broadcast across the Oregon Sports Network with a 5:30 pregame show. And yesterday, Keishawn Bartholomy also talked with the media a bit about the Ducks' 2-0 start to the season.
Big picture thoughts a couple games in about how things have come together, the way you guys are playing early on?
The most important thing is we got 2 wins, right? We wanted to start our season off with 2 wins in a week, and I feel like we handled business against Georgia and against Montana, who's really tough as well. So we did what we had to do.
How has the under the hoop seating changed the atmosphere in the arena?
Honestly, I didn't even notice it, but I will say that the crowd was really, really into it. Shout out to the pit crew; they were awesome. The fans that came out, it was really fun, and hopefully we can have that atmosphere for the rest of the season. So.
How do you plan to build that hype around men's basketball on campus and among your peers this season?
Among campus, I do not know, but my part, I feel like as a team, or our part as a team, is to just keep winning ball games. And I feel like fans gravitate towards winners, and I feel like that's what we're gonna have to do. So.
I know it's still really early, key, but with you guys having so many guards and so many new guys, just how do you feel like this backcourt is kind of meshing so far?
Honestly, I'm taking it day by day. I'm just doing what I have to do. Coach is always in my head telling me to do certain things and being vocal, being a leader, And I mean, the rest of our backcourt is really good. Like, everybody can contribute. So I'm not seeing it as a threat. I'm just seeing it as our team being really good. And that's a really good a good thing for our squad. So
we haven't had is like continuity personnel wise. Does that make it hard building chemistry, building an identity as a team, or do you guys feel like you can still do that?
No, it is difficult, but I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way, right? Like, we want those challenges, and I feel like everybody's embracing that, embracing playing with each other, and learning schemes and everything. So everybody's buying in so far.
How beneficial has it been to, or especially in this past game, to go out there without Dante and, still as a new team go out and get that win?
Oh, it was really good, man. I mean, Montana was really, they had really good players, and we just kind of had to bring it together because it was really close for most of the game. And then at the very end, we kind of made a run as a team, and we came together, got some stops, and we got the win. So it was really good. It was really good.
It's interesting. Your thoughts on the defensive connection you guys have as a group and just your play on that end of the court?
Well, from my perspective, I would say we still have a lot to improve. Like the communication part is really important. Little details, just the little things. But our energy, I feel like, has been here and there. We just got to be more consistent, as I said. But it's coming. We're only 2 games into the season, so we'll be getting better.
Just walking in here and listening to you guys practice, it sounded loud. Do you think guys are getting the message that, at least in practice, guys are trying to work on that and trying to emphasize communication?
Yes. Everybody's really into it in practices, and especially leading up to a big week like this. We need a big week of practice, and we need to just keep building off the 2 wins that we just had. And winning helps as well, right? Like, we come to work enthusiastic and stuff, so it's been good.
What are some things that you think you can work on personally or collectively here this next couple of games?
Collectively, I would say probably. I mean, I said the communication part already, but other than that, like, not just keep building off of what we already have. I mean, that's it.
In what way does Dante being on the bench help you guys? I mean, obviously it doesn't help you guys, but in what ways does he help you guys from the bench?
He's a really good leader vocally, and like he shows up every day with a great attitude, and he does the things that you can control as a player when things are not going your way. Your attitude, your effort. I mean, obviously he's not out there, but his effort into his leadership and stuff has been really good, and hopefully we can get him back soon. So, yeah.
Coach talked about running some of Dante's stuff through Nate when he wasn't out there. How have you seen Nate grow from just, a season ago to now?
Honestly, Nate has been, ever since the NIT, I think he's been on the roll. Like last season, ever since the NIT, he just kept building off of opportunity, because that's basketball. Sometimes you get more opportunities, and with Dante being out, Nate has stepped into a different role, and we've ran those sets for him, and we've been successful. So just seeing his growth, he's been in the gym as well, getting shots up. So it's been good. It's been good for him.
Keishawn Bartholomy meeting with the media there. A number of players that have had to step up. A number. With the Ducks when the Blacks have 4 guys out and they still move to 2-0 on the season, that's positive. But certainly the depth has been tested for Oregon men's basketball. That was Keishawn Bartholomy there. Coming up tonight, the Oregon Football Coaches Show. We've got Camden Lewis joining Dan Lanning. Myself and Jerry Allen will be here in the Country Financial Studio. 7 o'clock across the Oregon Sports Network and available on the Oregon Football social media channels. Duck Insider tomorrow. We've got Tim Healy, voice of the Sun Devils. See you then.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D.